In May, Pennsylvania's governor made Mayor Street an offer. The state would give the schools an additional $69 million on 3 conditions. 1, the city would have to kick in an additional $20 million of its own. 2, David Hornbeck's lawsuit against the state would have to be put on hold. And 3, the school district would have to cut its budget by an additional $30 million. Mayor Street accepted the offer.
They don't know where to stand. And so it is with a certain sense of regret that I am here today to announce that Superintendent David Hornbeck has tendered a resignation and will be leaving the school district of Philadelphia as its superintendent.
Everyone agrees, including the governor's office, that they never asked for Hornbeck's head. I think they made it quite clear that they pretty much were ignoring him.
It is with great sadness that I do participate in this announcement today of my stepping down as superintendent. These have been the most extraordinary years of my professional life.
He never surrendered his high hopes and his high expectations for the children of this city. And even in the face of withering criticism, he always said, children can learn. Children will learn.
They never ever gave him credit for having done anything good for the city schools. They didn't believe any of his claims of educational improvement.
People expected you to gloat. We win.
I think that's exactly what people were trying to get me to say. There were microphones shoved in my face from media types, reporters with their pens, just waiting for me to have a big smile on my face and to come across that we have won the battle. No, that's not my reaction.
On the positive side, the hard and the smart work of students, teachers, and administrators has resulted in a dramatic increase in achievement.
They had marginalized him. They considered him an irritant.
Hornbeck's resignation, was there a deal?
Never a deal. No deals.
I never had an interest in just being a superintendent. I only wanted to be a superintendent where it was realistic to think about moving forward.
He was being consistent with what he said from the very beginning. He didn't get what he said he had to have, and therefore, I quit.
Regrets?
I regret not being even more aggressive in our relationship with Harrisburg. I think we were far too timid.
I might not agree with that.
Timidity has never been one of the criticisms of David Hornbeck.
I think David was reasonably confrontational.
I think we could have done things that went beyond words.
I think that he feels that he should have mobilized people in the same way that the civil rights leaders of the 60s did, with the help of the church.
I think we should have made more publicly visible, more demonstrable, sustained outrage at this until our elected officials respond to it.
Deserve a quality, first-class education. It is guaranteed in the
Will children achieving continue?
We will not start all over again. I mean, I'm not looking for anybody to come here and rip the so-called David Hornbeck Children's Achieving Program and start all over from scratch.
Is this the toughest job in America?
I think so. I think it is, because the superintendent of a major school system is the focus for everything that goes wrong. Everything that is wrong is being held accountable in the public arena.
The mayor can win on 6 different issues and lose on 2 or 3, and he comes out as a winning mayor. In the superintendent of schools, you only have one major issue, that's education, and you either do it well or you don't do it well.
I think in some ways it's harder than being a mayor, because you can make improvements as a mayor. You can, fix potholes and clean streets and plow snow. You can do those things. People see it. People think, hey, things are happening here. Changing, turning out educated children on a mass scale is a far more difficult thing to do.
It's thankless, and that's not how I would like to end my career.
I think it is the most questioned and maligned political job there is in the nation. It is absolute no win.
David Hornbeck surprised everyone and beat the odds by lasting 6 years. In that same time period, the 56 biggest cities in the United States had a total of 150 school superintendents. 6 years ago, a typical urban superintendent lasted 2 years, 8 months. That's gotten worse. Today, it's 2 years, 4 months. Somebody called the urban superintendency a no-win job. Maybe nobody wins, but in these never-ending political and financial battles, there are casualties.
What shapes a kid's opportunity in this city, in poor suburban districts, is not kids' effort. It is instead a policy that says, we don't care if you work hard or not. And then when you look in the faces of the kids, and you know that every single one of those children are 100% capable, and you know that the policy that has been set by people who have the power to do otherwise in the richest nation on earth have consciously continued to make the decision that we're not going to treat these kids right. The opportunity to develop one's mind ought to be shaped only by a child's effort.
Keep it calm, no matter where you are.